The Lantern is brought to you by Innovation Economy Banking at JP Morgan.
Welcome to another episode of The Lantern. I have with me CEO and co-founder of Propexo, Remen Okoruwa. Really exciting prop tech company. Let's hear a little bit more about it.
Awesome. Here at Propexo, we offer a unified API helping technology companies integrate their products with property management software. And right now we are gearing up for conference season. I'm going to be spending next week in Las Vegas, and then I'm going to be spending a good chunk of time in DC in October. For us, this is honestly like the Super Bowl. You know, we get to have so many customer meetings. We get to meet a ton of net new prospects, and it oftentimes gives us a ton of inspiration for new product, new features, and just new opportunities that we get to pursue in the coming year.
Awesome. Now, Remen has been an operator. He's also been a founder here at Propexo. What are some of the things you've learned building the company?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing is trusting our instincts when we see a problem, go after it, sort of regardless of what people say. When we launched this business, we initially had to build a lot of our early integrations on the back of relying on the API credentials our customers gave us. And when we started, we were told by multiple people, both prop techs, other people in multifamily, asserting that you just can't build a business that way. But what we had to do slowly and steadily was start with small tech companies and then sort of graduate to increasingly large customers. And then at some point, the flip switched. And a lot of these systems that we were starting to integrate into, they started hearing about us directly from our customers. And instead of us sort of operating in the shadows, they began to start reaching out and asking to partner directly with us. Really cool. And we started formalizing these arrangements that had largely been informal over the initial period.
Love it. Whether that's, operators thinking about other ways to innovate and go to market, first-time founders, even repeat founders, what are some advice you would give back to them as they're marching forward into 2025?
Yeah, I think sort of building on what I just said, don't be afraid to embrace the hard times. So our current business, this unified API for property management software, I wish this was the idea we initially sent out to go and attack. But in reality, it was the result of a really hard pivot that we had to do. But that pivot from a rent payment app, which was our original concept, it gave us exposure to the idea that, hey, a rent payment app that doesn't integrate with these property management software systems isn't really delivering that much value. And the more that we started digging into, well, just how important are these integrations, right, the more we came to appreciate that the reality is these integrations weren't just a blocker for us, they were a blocker for a lot of other folks. And that was really that spark and that seed that allowed us to make that pivot successfully and then go on to build the business that we have today. I would love to say that it's all been like up and to the right, but the reality is that there's a lot, it's stop, it's start. Sometimes you make 2 steps forward and then you'll make 1 step back. But along the way, just believing strongly in the opportunity you're attacking, talking to customers, and as you build, sort of like making sure that you feel that you're heading in a direction where you're really creating value. And so long as you're creating value, just block out the noise. Because what we found was that despite all the naysayers, as we kept on building, as we kept on delivering that value, we ultimately got to that point where we were undeniable. And we've now sort of gotten to a position where everything just makes a lot more sense. And we're getting that external validation rather than the external pushback that we were seeing 2 years ago.
Almost 30 customers, Propexo. Last but not least, what is your ask for the community? What can we help you with as you head into the Super Bowl conference season?
So right now, one of the companies that we're looking to develop an even stronger partnership with is Yardi. We're hoping we can find folks who have a connection with senior leadership there so we can deepen our partnership with that team.
Yardi in Santa Barbara, so anyone who has Southern California connections, Yardi to Boston, we'll figure out a way to make it happen. And anything else?
Any introductions to the IT or tech teams at large REITs in the multifamily space would be massive. We're starting to make a shift to think about how we can adapt our product to meet the needs of multifamily owners. And we have some ideas that we're looking to bounce off of folks in that space.
Perfect. Remen from Propexo, Matt from MGMT Boston, another episode of The Lantern. See you out there.
This episode of The Lantern is brought to you by Innovation Economy Banking at JP Morgan. With JP Morgan's guidance, your startup can go from growing pains to growing without limits. With tech that powers your growth and bankers across the globe to help you disrupt every market, you can go from seed to IPO and beyond. JP Morgan, Let's build your future together.